let us tell you what you already think about Dubai, so we can get it out of the way. You think tall, you think gold, you think a shopping mall with an aquarium in the wall and a ski slope tucked behind the food court, and a skyline that looks less like a city than like a brochure that learned to stand up. You think of a place built the day before yesterday by people with more money than memory, where everything is the biggest or the tallest or the most, and where, underneath all that glass, there is presumably nothing at all, a spectacle with no soul. We thought that too for years, and we were comfortable thinking it because it let us skip the place with a clear conscience. And then we went properly, with people who knew where to look, and we had to put the whole tidy opinion down. Because the spectacle is real. The city absolutely will sell you the tallest and the biggest, if that is what you came for. But there is an older Dubai underneath the new one, a quieter, lower, more human city, only a few minutes from the towers that almost nobody on a layover ever sees, and knowing how to find it, knowing that it is even there to be found, is the whole difference between a good trip and a glossy afternoon you could have had at an airport. So today, the city of superlatives, for the traveler who wants the thing the superlatives are standing in front of. Start at the water because Dubai started at the water. Long before the oil and the architects, this was a creek, a saltwater inlet curling in from the Gulf, and a town that lived off it. Pearl divers, traders, wooden boats coming in heavy from India and Persia and East Africa, low in the water with cloth and spice and timber. That creek is still there. It still works. And if you go down to it in the late afternoon, you find a stretch of waterfront called the wharfage, where those same wooden trading boats, broad, weathered, stacked to the rails, are tied up 3 and 4 deep, loading and unloading exactly as they have for 100 years. Air conditioners and car tires and sacks of who knows what bound for ports you'd have to look up. No ticket, no turnstile, just working men and rope and the smell of diesel in the Gulf, going about a trade older than the country it sits in. You can stand there a long time, and the towers across the water start to look like the recent thing they actually are. Behind that waterfront, on the Bur Dubai side, is the piece we love most, and the piece the brochures somehow forget. A historic neighborhood of old houses, low and sand-colored, built close together along lanes so narrow the heat can't quite get in. And rising out of them, these tall square chimneys, open on 4 sides. Wind towers. They are the original air conditioning. The desert builders worked out centuries before electricity that if you raise a tall hollow shaft above a house and open its sides to the breeze, it will catch whatever air is moving and pour it down, cool, into the rooms below. You walk those lanes and feel it, genuinely cooler, shaded, hushed, and you understand that the people here were solving the heat with intelligence and patience long before anyone solved it with a power station. It is one of the quietest, most civilized corners of the entire city, and on most days you will nearly have it to yourself. Then there are the souks, the old markets, and you want to do these on foot and a little hungry. There is a spice market, lanes of open sacks, saffron and dried lemon and frankincense, and great cones of things you can't name, and a smell that arrives before you turn the corner and stays in your coat for days. And there is the gold souk, window after window of it, more gold in one alley than you will see in a lifetime anywhere else, glinting under the lights in a way that is honestly a little absurd and entirely worth seeing. You don't have to buy a thing. You go to look and to haggle a little if the mood takes you, and to feel the particular energy of a market that has been a market for as long as anyone can remember. And here is the small moment that, for us, is the whole city in miniature. The spice market is on one side of the creek, and the gold is on the other, and to get across you do not summon a car or cross a bridge. You walk down to the water, and you step into an abra, a little wooden ferry, low and open, a wooden bench down the middle, an old engine coughing at the back. You hand the boatman a coin, a single small coin, the price of nothing. And he waits until the bench is full of whoever has gathered, traders and shoppers and grandmothers and you, and then he pushes off. And for a few minutes you are out on the water in the open air, the working boats sliding past, the towers in the distance, the whole improbable city laid out around you, and you have paid less for this crossing than you would pay for a bottle of water in your hotel. It is the best few coins you will spend in the Emirates. It is also the quiet rebuke to everything you assumed, that here, in the city of the most expensive everything, the loveliest thing is nearly free and 100 years old. You should eat over here too, while you're on this side of the city, not in a tower, down among the old streets where you can sit and have proper Emirati food, the slow-cooked lamb and rice and the dates, and afterwards a small cup of Arabic coffee, pale and cardamom-scented, poured from a long-spouted pot and meant to be sipped while you talk and lose track of the time. The hospitality here is real and old and has nothing to do with the price of the room. It comes from the desert, where turning a traveler away from your fire could cost him his life, and where welcoming a stranger was therefore not a courtesy, but a code. You can still feel that under the modern surface, if you sit still long enough to let it find you. So that is the old city, and you could spend a happy day and never come up for air. But Dubai is bracketed by two landscapes, and the second one begins where the streets run out, the desert. And we want to be careful here, because the desert is the single most commonly ruined part of a Dubai trip. The standard version is a circus, a convoy of trucks tearing over the dunes, everyone bounced around until lunch comes back up, then a crowded camp with a buffet and a stage. You can do that. Please don't. Done properly, the dessert is one of the great slow pleasures of this part of the world, and slow is the operative word. You go out in the late afternoon, when the worst of the heat has lifted and the light is going long and gold. You go privately, in a small vehicle with a guide who knows the sand, or better still, you go up onto the dunes on the back of a camel, at a camel's pace, which is the pace the desert was meant to be taken at. And you watch the sun go down over the dunes, the sand turning from gold to apricot to a deep blue-gray, the shadows in the ripples growing long, the silence so complete it has a sound of its own. Then, if you've arranged it well, you stay. A proper desert camp, low and quiet, dinner under the open sky, and a darkness with more stars in it than you knew the sky could hold, because out here there is nothing to compete with them. You lie back, and the whole band of the galaxy is just there, casually, overhead. And there is a heritage out here worth meeting, not as a show, but as a real thing. This was Bedouin land, the desert people who crossed it and lived on it and read it like a book. The clearest window into that world is falconry. The falcon was the desert hunter's partner, the way the camel was his transport, and the bond between a man and his bird is something to see up close. A good guide will let you have a falcon on your gloved arm at dawn. Feel the astonishing weight and stillness of it, watch it launch and turn and come back, and tell you what the bird meant, and still means, to the people of this land. It is quiet, and it is dignified, and it is the opposite of the buggy circus. It is the desert introducing itself. That is one bracket. The other is the sea, and people forget Dubai even has one. It sits on the Gulf, and the Gulf is warm, bath warm in summer, gentle the rest of the year, and the coast is long and bright and easy. There are the beaches, of course, the famous ones in the shadow of the famous hotels, but there is also genuinely good diving and snorkeling out along the coast and the islands, reef and warm, clear water and more life under it than you'd expect. So you have this strange and lovely thing, a city that hands you the desert on one side and the sea on the other, the two oldest landscapes there are, with the newest city in the world wedged between them. Sand at sunset, salt water in the morning. Few places let you do both before lunch, which brings us to the real art of Dubai, the thing the discerning traveler understands that the first-timer doesn't. Dubai is, more than almost anywhere, a brilliant hinge. It sits almost exactly between Europe and Asia, between Europe and Africa, on the great air routes that cross the world, and that position is its genius. You do not, we gently suggest, plan a long holiday in Dubai. You use it. 2 days, 3 at the outside. The old city, a desert night, a morning by the sea, folded into a longer journey, and it becomes the most polished pause in travel. You break a long flight, you shake off the time zones in tremendous comfort. You see something real, and you go on refreshed rather than wrecked. It pairs almost too neatly with the Maldives, a short hop-on, and you arrive at the islands already unwound, or with a safari in East Africa, the same easy reach in the other direction. The city that everyone treats as a destination is, in the right hands, the perfect bridge between two of them. A few honest practicalities before we let you go. When you come matters enormously. The summer here is brutal, genuinely, the kind of heat that turns a walk to the car into an event and makes the old city and the desert simply unwise. The cooler months, roughly the back half of the year through to early spring, are the glorious ones, warm and clear, and made for exactly the slow outdoor pleasures we've been describing. Come then, and come knowing that this is a late city. It lives in the evenings, the markets and the streets, and the restaurants filling up long after dark, when the heat has gone and families are out together, children and grandparents, and everyone in between, eating late and easily. It is wonderfully welcoming to families, and the food is extraordinary. The whole world's cooking gathered in one place, and the balance is everything. Give the old city as much of your time as the new, and you'll come away with a Dubai almost nobody you know has actually seen. This is precisely how we tend to use Dubai at JMJ Experiences, not as the trip itself, but as the polished stopover that makes a bigger journey better, the hinge between a long flight and the Maldives or East Africa, with a desert night and a morning on the creek folded in. If you'd like the practical version of all this, there's a companion piece on Dubai over in our journal at jmjexperiences.com/journal with the where and the when laid out properly. But carry the small thing with you, not the big one, not the tower. The little wooden ferry, the coin in the boatman's hand, the working boat sliding past, and the whole loud, improbable city looking for a moment, 100 years old. Next time we stay with the idea of everyone out together after dark, and we talk about the hardest and most rewarding trip of all, the multi-generational journey, traveling well with children and grandparents and everyone in between. We hope you'll come along. Until then, we hope your afternoons are gloriously, gorgeously empty.